Hello and welcome to Friday. Happy Friday to everybody. My name is Stephen Pope and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. And in our live Q&A every Friday, I take questions from the audience. And it's my pleasure to serve and interact with you. I'm also excited because yesterday we launched a very awesome new program to add value to the community, and it's called Mag School. And we've had more than 1,500 people sign up for Mag School. And for those that missed the announcement yesterday, I'm going to put up on screen here. It took me a second to grab this. So this is a brand new course program. And for $10, you can take a course on SEO, on the catalog, design, and PPC. We have, for the next 48 hours, a promo code to get the SEO course for free. That promo code is MAG100SEO. So feel free to check that out and enroll in that today. I'll put a link into the chat. If you have any questions about what we're trying to do with Mag School, you're also welcome to ask those today. Super excited about the launch of this because we've gotten some really great feedback already. We started adding some of those testimonials to the page. So I don't know how to say his name, but Tajasi, the content course is exceptional. No doubt about that. It's crisp and clear. Ruben says, A+ content, good move, an anticipated one. The only true Amazon guru. And Clarence says, this course is fantastic. Thank you for allowing us the benefit, and much more. So hope you guys check that out and tell all of your friends about that. Get them to take that free SEO course. We have some really good nuggets in it. We got a new member of the channel today. Triff, thanks for joining the channel. Feel free to ask any questions. We always try and prioritize member questions first. And Karen, thank you for the donation. We'll jump into your question here just momentarily. First, though, hello, Kevin from Lakeland, Florida. He has branded that into my brain. I know he is from Lakeland, Florida, for sure, because he says it every time. Welcome, Kevin. All right, John, you can kick us off now with answering some questions. Thanks to John. Special thank you. He's been with My Amazon Guy about a year, and he's helping me behind the scenes. All right, Karen says, Steve, I'm convinced somehow, some way, my ASIN is being punished for being out of stock frequently in 2021. Since being back in stock, my tacos has been fluctuating at 18%. I've been pumping ads, updating Listio like crazy, and unable to catch sellers who I used to be far ahead of. I will make sure to never go out of stock again, but what do I do? All right, so one of the things we need to do is pull up the ASIN inside of Amazon. Let's check it out and see if we can answer that. Karen's one of our super fans, frequent visitor to the channel, and always asks great questions. So we're going to try and dive in and see if we can answer this. First thing I'm trying to do is look up the ASIN and put it on screen here. So let's dive over here. So we've got the anti-snoring chin strap. And I'm not sure if this is a new image that you changed out after we did the A/B test or not. But if it is, great. Your review count is challenging at 3.6. You really need to get that rounded back up to 4. You need to get to that 3.7 rating. That'll make a huge difference. I'd be really curious to see if part of the challenge was directly tied to that drop in the review calculations. You're obviously doing a lot of great things. For those that don't know, the brand's story right above A+ content, really important to have. And Regal Living's got theirs right here that goes above the A+ content. Really strong A+ content with all of the things that you would expect and need. So you're doing all the right things there. I think, honestly, Karen, this issue has to be directly tied to the review situation. Karen confirms, yes, it is the new image. That's fantastic. But Karen, I think you really ought to try and get some general positive reviews in. I might lower the price for a time period to try and recover the listing and see if you can get that BSR up. But you're doing everything else correct. So I think reviews are going to be what you need to focus on. understanding that 3.6 is the standard, but getting to that 3.7 is going to round it up to 4 stars. It's going to make a major difference. So other than that, honestly, I can't add anything further here. You're doing a really good job. All right, let's go to the next. Triff says, I think Amazon loaded data for mobile views and business reports this week. You are correct. They did do that. And they messed up a bunch of data and stats. All my old data now has 8 to 10 page views, times that is, from mobile. Because of this, my unit session percentage has dropped from 30% down to 11. So that basically means every idea or standard where we talked about conversion rates, throw it out the door. We have to rethink everything. I used to say anything above 12% was exceptional. And if you were having a conversion rate above 20%, you were leaving sales on the table. Now I'm going to have to figure out what those new percentages should be. Maybe it needs to lower down quite a bit. But basically, Amazon's revealing mobile conversion rate is lower than desktop. Who would have thought? Mobile is always going to be lower than desktop. There's more buyer intent on desktop. There's more distractions on mobile. So I think it makes perfect sense that your conversion rates are going to be adjusted. Great observation. Nothing you can really do about it yet. Trying to figure out if this was a real conversion all along, if I had a problem with low conversion the whole time. Well, keep this in mind, right? Like the same best practices apply, right? You're not going to really change your behavior. The data and report is just adjusted. That's it, right? So now your baseline and your observations just adjust accordingly. So there's really not a lot of like hoopla coming out of this one. It's just revealing the mobile data. That's it. That's all it is. So you didn't have a problem all along. It's just simply put, mobile has a lower conversion rate. That's a fact. No challenges here. Frost tax or Frost Axe. Hi, Stephen. What is the best way to compete with established brands for grocery when margins are small? Yes, margins are extraordinarily small in grocery. Also, with inflation pushing prices up, your COGS are getting out of control. The government is still releasing reports that inflation for food is only 5%. I do not understand how they get away with lying so badly to the public. Inflation rates in food is anywhere from 25 to 100% this year. So do you just eat the ad costs, or what are the good tacos for the objective? I'll be honest, Frostax, most people spend minimal advertising in grocery. Get established, don't make any money for 3 months on a product, and then from there, they just simply take it down. You making an appearance today? No, as soon as my one water cup's done today, I'm out. Like I've got a nasal drip. Oh, hummingbirds are back, but you got to fill them up. So I have hummingbirds that will join us every year. Here is the side. Those are my hummingbird feeders. There you can see in the window. And a hummingbird just stopped by, but we hadn't filled the hummingbird feeder yet this year. And that was the first visual. That's how I know it's back to spring. So we got to get those filled up. All right, go back to that last question for just a second. Just make sure I finished answering that. Sorry, John. Do you just eat the ad costs? Yes, within reason, but you absolutely cannot sustain it in your category. So get the product up, turn some units, and then turn it off. I do keep this hot sauce bottle on my desk to remind me how difficult grocery is, and not just for the logistics situation I went through, but also because the margins are low. It's very difficult. Jay Sand, when launching, can you comment on target ad placement for most critical keywords, top 3 to 5? I've heard you say before the third or fourth spot is best value, but curious if that is a steady state or a launch. I would say both, in my opinion. So if we look at one of my products here and we go look at a search term and we just type something in like white sage sticks, something like that, right? So at the top here, my ad did not show up at the top, but if it did, I like to get in that position. Excuse me, I have hiccups. Position 3 and position 4. It's cheaper. It's almost as effective. And most people's budgets can't justify position 1. If you're a seller that's under $1 million in gross a year, you're better off targeting position 3 and 4. As we scroll down, we're going to see some additional ads pop up here in a brief moment. There's the video ad. They've tested this week, by the way, showing 2 video ads in search results. They are out of space at Amazon search algorithm. So they're going to open up some new spaces for video ads. As we keep going down, we see some more ads right here. There's an ad spot right there. As we keep going down, there's going to be another ad spot here a few rows later. Not seeing a lot of it though. So sometimes you get different results depending on who you are, where you are. But this is my item right here. And we've been able to generate a lot of orders, 400 reviews in less than 6 months. Doing pretty good for ourselves, I think. But steady state and launch, I like position 3 and 4 long term almost always. Jahil says, if you need a question to ask, if you're looking for hair growth, regrowth, biotin shampoo and conditioner sets, which one would you choose? You can make price a factor as well. It would be helpful, $39 versus $29. So I think this is related to what we tend to do a lot of PickFu questions. If you want to post the ASINs, Jahil, I'd be happy to give that a whirl for our free PickFu test giveaway this week. We're a certified partner of PickFu, and if anybody watching this wants to try it out themselves, go to myamazonguy.com/PickFu, or go straight over to pickfu.com/myamazonguy and claim the offer right there. All right, so we'll see who wants to get theirs tested out today. John, you can decide who we do. Launching, how many keywords do you target at first? How many campaigns and ad types do you run in the first and second month? I go for a lot of broad matches, a lot of auto emphasis when launching a product, but I also do some phrase or exact matches depending on what I believe the products can do. But there's not a magic number on this. It's more of a budgetary question, right? And so you could do one campaign. Like, for example, when I launched the mom box, and I know some of you are tired of hearing this example, but it's pertinent. The mom spa box, I generated $144,000 in 4 weeks with $11,000 in ad spend, and $5,000 of that ad spend was on a single keyword campaign. Broad match, gifts for mom. That was the secret to my success, was the main image and the broad match keyword, gifts for mom, right? And so it makes a very, very big difference depending on what your budget, what your goal is. And in my goal, I was trying to rank organically for as many mom gift terms as possible. I was able to get up to organic slot number 1 for gifts for mom 48 hours before Mother's Day, which is incredible, right? That's where all my success came from. So your ad strategy needs to match your goal. What is your goal? Write down the goal, build the campaigns to address that. So if your goal is to make $10,000 in the first month, you probably need to spend $2,000 on ads. But if your goal is to make $100,000, you better up that substantially. All right, so them versus us. We've got 2 ASINs to test out today with our PickFu test. And we're going to pull these up on screen. Keep that up on screen for now, John, but then I'm going to have you bring back the question so I can write it out. So we're going to do Bravo's, I think that's an O. First one and a 0 on the second. Bravo 07K 4S4J66. Let's see if we can grab that one and make sure I type that in right. So clearly I'm struggling. So I thought that was an O. Let's try the 0. Here we go. I do remember looking at this last week. So this is the them. And now let's go do the us. So Bravo 07, Bravo Henry, Charlie, Bravo 9, Yulu. Just made that one up. And here we go. So we're going to do an A/B test between these two and pull up the question that they had suggested. And we're going to grab the question. So we're going to start a new poll. And we're going to do build from scratch. And we're going to write a custom question. So we're going to have to go. Do women use this product as well, Jahil? Can you post in the chat your opinion on that? Let's see what the listings look like. It is totally a woman's product on this one. So women over here and men over here. And there's a woman shot there. Okay, so we don't need to ask this specifically for men or women. If you are looking for hair regrowth biotin, shampoo, conditioner, which set would you choose? So how do we factor in the pricing is a good question here. Um, I think you can only ask one question, and I don't think you can address this with the main image and the pricing. I think it's going to be really tricky. So, like, if we were trying to get the pricing on this, I guess here's what I'm going to do. So, I'm going to bring up both images, and what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this into uh, a kind of a really quick and dirty Photoshop program. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up, let's do hide recent on that. We'll put a little call out shape here. Maybe I could just take like a screen grab of the price, something like that. So let's, I'm trying to think what the best way to do this is. We're going to do two of these. Okay. So Snagit editor here, new. We're going to paste this in. Over here, we're going to take this image, going to paste it in, and we're going to basically give them the full experience. Let's see. This is going to be rough. So I'm not a designer. I want to make that very clear. But I do think I can snap a couple of things together here. Like that. Maybe we'll center it. Okay, so that's our shot one. Okay, let's go back to this one. And we're going to take a screenshot of this as well. So they get the full experience. No coupon. And we'll center that underneath. So we need to make these look as close together as possible. It looks like a fair test to me. Okay. So here's the fair test. I'm going to save both of these. So we're going to have that one and we're going to have this one. Okay. And then we need to make sure we put this into the system correctly. So if you're looking for hair growth, regrowth biotin shampoo and conditioner, which set would you choose? Proceed to checkout. Or next step, we need to go to put the photo in. So on the left, we're going to put in Purador. And on the right, we're going to put in Bellaso. Okay, let's see how this looks and compare and contrast here. Looks fairly similar. Going to get a little bit of a in it. So hi, Sage. You want to say hi to everybody? So this is my 3-year-old. She wants me to switch the shows out. So, hey, Am. Let's see if I can call the wife. She stayed home sick today, so I understand you needed to change the show. Can you? I'm sure everybody liked the cameo though. I don't want to pick her up; she'll start crying. So, can you hand it to mommy? All right, hand it to mommy. I know you're so cute. She's got snot crusted all over her face. All right, let's see if I can keep the show going while we got the interruption. So here on the left and here on the right. Now, the only thing I don't like is the fact that the Bellaso is showing up a little bit bigger. So I kind of want to look at how we can limit that aspect. It doesn't make sense to me why that showed up bigger or different. I'm going to roll with it for time's sake, but it's not quite ideal. Okay. Next step. General audience is going to be okay. 50 questions. We do want that. And next step here, enable CSV. That's fine. We'll make this public. Next step. And proceed to checkout. And then I'm going to pull up one of my promo codes. We'll put that in here. And we'll get this one off to the races. So I'm grabbing my promo code from off the screen. I don't want to make the mistake of showing it on the screen here. Copy link address. So spring weather coming back, and it's awesome. I'm super excited about it. All right, got the promo code. Hit in and apply. Promo code not valid. We'll try another one. Yeah, so last week on screen, I accidentally showed all the promo codes, and I think somebody burned them. Somebody totally burned them, guys. My bad. All right, they didn't burn them all. They didn't burn them all. All right, we get one. We get a free promo code today. But whoever burned my promo codes, shame on you. My fault for showing them, though. Okay, so our quiz is off to the races here. All right, let's go to the next question. Jason says, launching, how many keywords do you target at first? How many campaigns? So we just finished this one, John. Let's go to the next. Can you comment on expected budget to launch a product in the US? I'm in the competitive kitchenware category. I don't think kitchenware is competitive at all. I think it's one of the strongest categories with the lowest PPC. Are there a lot of products? Absolutely, but it's not competitive. So I think you can get away with a $3,000 budget on a new gadget, whatever. I actually talked to a top 10 kitchen seller today. Made my day being able to make that connection. They have agreed also to come on my podcast. And so we'll be introducing them and asking them about their origin story, which started with the lemon squeezer. And we'll talk a lot about kitchen. You're not going to want to miss that one, Jason. That's for sure. But expected budget, $3,000, I think is totally fine. You can make adjustments and go from there. Cupcake Sprinkles, good to see you. I get an error message from search term character links sometimes, even though I use the exact keywords on a similar listing without an error. Any idea why? Any workaround? Well, first of all, it's not character count. It's byte count. 250 bytes. And the difference between a byte and a character, a byte does not count spaces. An N with a tilde is 2 bytes, but is only one character. Gets a little confusing, right? But if you count the bytes, you'll be just fine. If you're maximizing the field up until the error message, Cupcake Sprinkles, you'll be okay. But if you just simply put your string into a byte counter, it should be under 250 and you'll be just fine. Not characters, it's bytes. All the SEO tools missed this, by the way. We were the first to market about 6 weeks ago when we first started talking about this. So if you want to see the full video on the bytes video, just type into Google bytes, BYTES, my Amazon guy. You can check that one out. I'm a Canadian seller. I have unfulfillable inventory in a US FBA warehouse. Am I able to send that back to myself in Canada? No, you are not. You must have US inventory shipped back to a US warehouse. I was working with a Canadian Amazon expert, good friend of mine. He was not able to automate his Canada removal orders, and we could not figure out why. So if you're a Canadian seller and you are able to automate your removal orders, I'd love to hear how you did it, or if you're also struggling with that. But in terms of your US resolution, ship it to a US FBA facility, 3PL, or warehouse. That's how you solve this one. Great question. Part 2 in Seller Central under automated unfulfillable settings. It does not give me a Canadian address under return address. So we just answered that. It's because you have to have US to US. You can't go cross-border for removal orders. For unfulfillable inventory, how does Amazon decide between refurbished and liquidation? Basically, if they can refurb it, they will. If they can't, they'll liquidate. Simple as that. So if the box looks okay, they're going to refurb. However, if the items are like, let's say you're trying to do a removal order for like 100 units, they're going to go with liquid. Triff says, well, John, hey, John, by the way, guys, John is one of our new account executives at my Amazon guide. If you guys want to talk to us about hiring my Amazon guy. You can get on the phone with this guy right here. He's an avid learner. He's enrolled in our SEO course as well. And all you got to do is go to myamazonguy.com, click on Grow Sales Faster, or contact us, and you can get on a phone call with John today. He has same-day appointments available. John asks, if a seller can only do FBM due to customization, what are the best practices for marketing outside of PPC due to conversion issues? Or perhaps is the conversion for paid to FBM possibly changing? So we actually have several clients that are like this. One of them is called Big Plush. And my social media post tomorrow, I've already scheduled this. You're going to see me holding up a giant bear larger than this, right? One of their best sellers is this ASIN right here. And guess what? Customize now comes up. Can you sell a $147 item with customization? Absolutely. We help them do this. This is one of our own clients. Add custom text to the bear's neck ribbons. You can add custom text to the t-shirt, add a Santa hat, all kinds of things, right? So this is how customization works. You can also do this on Etsy and other platforms as well. So what would you do? We've never actually talked about customization on the podcast. This is the first time ever. So great new territory, John. And so what can you do, or what your best practices? Simply put, make an awesome product that they cannot live without. Here it is. This is an awesome product you cannot live without. If you were trying to impress your loved one, what better way than to give them a 5 freaking foot giant teddy bear, right? So adding customization is something so special on a tender, loving gift like this. That's where it works. Now, if you're just doing like a simple put your name here wine glass type of deal, which there's plenty of those on the market, right? So if we went here and typed in customize, let's actually see what comes up in the search result. Blankets with photos, pens, necklaces. So let's see what the blankets with photos looks like. That's kind of cool. So they put your photo straight into the blanket. That's awesome, right? And you see all kinds of options here. So boom, look at that. That's pretty cool. So I would say it's a thing. It's definitely a thing, right? And you got to click on the customize button. Now, is customization as big on Amazon as other items? Definitely not. But it definitely is worth doing if you want to personalize some things. So great question, John. Thanks for asking. All right, let's go to the next one. I spoke to John today. He is amazing. Well, great, Eli. I appreciate that. I hope others decide to book a call with us, see how we can help you. Jason says, we want to, my goal, the reason why I do these things, right? I want people to leave these podcasts, these live Q&As saying, wow. If you leave this today saying, wow, that is music to my ears. That is my goal today. So when I have wowed you today, add it to the chat and just say such wow, or whatever you prefer. Jason says, thank you, Stephen. You the man. Such wow, right back at you. All right. Karen says, can you speak on the difference between parenting 2 ASINs together versus having a main parent ASIN and simply adding a variation to it? Are they the same thing? How do they differ? So Karen and I have been having some conversations about parentage by email, and she's gone through all of my videos, and I have not been able to express it in a way that makes sense, which means it's my fault, not yours, Karen. So let me try and do a little bit of show and tell. Here on the back end of my Seller Central account is some parentages and variations. This ASIN right here is a parent. When I open this up, you can see all of the children, and there's 144 of them. We haven't loaded the data yet. We're still working on it. And right here, this ASIN is a child. So because these aren't live yet, they don't make very good demonstrations. So I'm going to go ahead and try and find something else. I'm going to go down to this one right here. This is my soap listing. And notice when you click on a parent, what happens? It loads a child. The parent does not exist on the front end of Amazon, except in some clothing categories. you have to, in some clothing categories, you do see the parent and then select the children. That does happen. But in the case of this, you click on this parent, it loads a child. All right. So here is one of my soap listings. We launched this upon consumer demand. They wanted to get the same soap all in one. They loved what they got, so we put this together. This was a created upon customer demand listing. So here are two ASINs: Child 1, Child 2, cedarwood, and charcoal. So if you're parenting two ASINs together like this, and let's say there were only two children, the ASIN number underneath of it would say 2. In my case, it says 36. So the variation count shows up right there. But when I open this up on the back end, I can see all of the variations. So this is a relatively new endeavor for us. So we've got like 30 some odd products. Some are FBM, some are FBA. So it's basically the same thing twice. When you connect all the children ASINs together, they roll up to a parent. Now, to Karen's question, if I were to add another child variation, I could do so in a variety of ways. I could go to the variations tab like this and simply add in a new scent name like Orchid and hit add. Orchid would then show up at the very bottom where I could then put the SKU information in, the UPC or the ASIN, and the price. I could hit save and finish. And when I loaded a photo and shipped the product in, it would then go live on this product. When you have one single ASIN, it's not parented, it's still a child. It's just orphaned. When you bring two child ASINs together, there is a parent and two children. Many times when I talk about parentage, people think and get confused that there's an older brother or an older sister. And that's not how parentage works. It is simply the collection of a parent and children underneath it. So if I were to draw, let's open Paint up here, right? If I were to draw this right here, well, we probably need a better thing than that. So let's undo that. We need to draw something a lot thicker. There we go. Okay, so if I was to draw, we'll call this the parent. Okay, and then underneath here, we're going to call this the child. So you connect the children in to the parent. Here is what's purchasable, though. Oops, I think I moved my... Oh, that was confusing. So right here, at this point, this is what the consumer can purchase. It's the child product. They don't see the parent. This is just a data collection. So, Karen, how did I do? Did I make this any better? How can I help you further? Feel free to ask additional questions on that. It'd be my pleasure to answer further. Eli says, I updated my bullet points, but they won't show up in the front end. I did that a long time ago. Eli, do you have brand registry? If yes, go file a brand registry ticket. If no, go get a trademark from my Amazon guy, and we will get you brand registered in under 7 days. For those that haven't used my Amazon guy yet for your trademark service, we have the fastest trademark on the market. Go to services, trademark registrations, click on the USA trademark there, and start your registration today. We've done this for more than 650 people in the last 18 months. Otherwise, brand registry ticket will fix you up, Eli. Audrey coming in from LinkedIn. What is the quickest way to get products reinstated on Seller Central after Amazon has flagged and taken down? Audrey, this is a very tough question to answer generically because every product is different. Here's what we do. We will file a reinstatement ticket. We will file brand registry tickets. We will do a template upload to fix the data in question. This happens primarily in supplements a lot. We also often have clients that are in supplements and they look at us and they said, you're the experts and my product still got yanked. And I'm like, yeah, that's how common it is, right? Like very, very common for products to get yanked, even if you are perfect. So if this happens to you, don't feel bad. This is extraordinarily common. File tickets, file template uploads, place phone calls into Amazon, answer the question that they gave you. Check out your performance notifications. Make sure you're answering why they took it down and see if you can remove the flag. Do those things, you'll be in better shape. Great question, Audrey. Just done the MAG SEO course. Good takeaways. I appreciate that. For those that haven't checked out the MAG course yet, it's called MAG School, mag-school.com. And we're giving away the course for free this weekend. Use the promo code MAG100SEO and get the course for free. We're going to be launching PPC next. Stay tuned for April 4th when we launch our PPC course. And my computer screen is freezing right now, so I'm not sure if you guys can see me. So hopefully you can. John, let me give John, flick a banner on and off if you can hear me right now. Karen says, part 1, Amazon has set every $500 in PPC spend will get taken from the sales revenue or credit card discharge, whichever is set. Can this 500 threshold be changed? I actually don't know the answer to this question, truth be told. Trying to think what I could point her in the right direction on. What I would do, I bet it's automated. I think it's automated. So I don't think you can change it, but it automatically changes upward. What I would do is just send a ticket in to the ads team and see if they will change it for you. Part 2, is there some better or recommended strategy setting up to the overall cash flow? I'm going to interrupt this because outside right here, we've put up the new hummingbird feeders. My wife jumped on that. She took advantage of it. They're putting them up right now. You can see Sage and Emily out the window. Sage really likes to get involved and do things. She's such a cutie. Love her to death. All right. So is there some better or recommended strategy setting up to help with cash flow or overall improve Amazon finances? I don't want to charge the credit card, but I'm curious on this 500. So cash flow is the number one challenge after inventory, which is also directly tied to cash flow. Generally speaking, people have a hard time. The larger their organization gets, the more cash flow it needs. You've got a lot of cash sitting, and it becomes quite challenging. So these are the constraints. And my computer is completely black right now, so I don't even know if you guys can hear me. I've never had this happen before. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to see if I can log in from my phone and take this mobile. We're gonna go mobile today for my live Q&A, unless my computer comes back up. All right, got my StreamYard code. Gonna try and log in. And again, I have no idea if you guys can even hear me right now. Let's jump into the studio from my mobile phone. Enter studio. Mic is working. All right. So I can see myself from my other screen. So apparently I'm okay. You probably are hearing double right now. So I'm going to mute that. You're going to get double shot of me today. Just in case it goes down, I'll know. Let's see where would be a good place to stick this. Let's go like that. All right. So you get the side shot today. I'm seeing black on my screen, though, on the desktop computer. So I'm not actually sure if it's working. But whatever. Here we are today. Good old computers. All right. Thank you, Stephen. You the man. John, give me a thumbs up. Am I still working? Yes, I count bytes. All good? Okay. It's really hard to tell from my side right now. Going blind. Okay, I can see the questions. Let's keep going. Yes, I count bytes. You taught me that a long time ago. Thank you. You're very welcome. Can you comment on virtual bundles? Is that how you set up your gift boxes? Virtual bundles are not going to grow sales. They're kind of junky. They are good for defensive measures. I do recommend them for taking up space on your listing page, but not for trying to grow your sales. Can't advertise virtual bundles. Such wow, you did a great job, Stephen. I'm going to buy the SEO course and not use the promo code as my thanks. Well, Karen, I really appreciate that support. Thank you very much. You're awesome. Is there a way? So I did a Control-Alt-Delete on my computer, and it took 4 minutes to show up. My computer is frying right now. It's now stuck on my screen. I can only see half the question. Let's see. I'm going to read it from my mobile phone. All right, this is why I did this. Okay. Is there a way you could tell me how much of a campaign is spending on a daily basis? Most campaigns don't run out of budget every day. Yes. So what you would do is you'd click into the campaign inside of your ad console, and then you would sort it to 30 days, and then you could put your cursor over the click for each day during the month, and you can see how much spent each day. I would demo that live, but I cannot. All right, let's keep going. I can still see you. That's good. Steven, can hear you and see you. No problem. All right. Appreciate that, guys. No breaks in the service. Yes, the show must go on. Is inventory placement helpful or hurtful to get the buy box right now? Well, since my computer's frozen, I'm going to go outside. We're gonna take the show. Well, I got to put this off mute, though, if I do that. Okay, so... All right, so
unmute. Okay, you guys are gonna get John. If you can put me as the main image on the core front of the screen. There we go. And I'm hearing myself because my wife has this is my kitchen. Take a nice tour here. All right, coming outside. My computer's totally frozen. So yeah, you're making a cameo. So. Never happened before. I don't know. It needs a break. So we're putting up hummingbird feeders. There's Sage. She definitely has crazy hair. She's sick. So this is the outside of where I do my podcast setup. Okay.
Do you want to put up a loudspeaker?
No. We're gonna finish the show on mobile. All right. Christine says, "Is inventory placement helpful or hurtful to get the buy box right now?" No, it's fine. I would say inventory placement is not worth the cost. They will charge you extra for it. And so I would not do inventory placement because you don't want to be paying for that. It doesn't help with the buy box. Nico says, such wow, Stephen. Such wow, just in general. Thank you very much, Nico. I appreciate the support. Karen says, when doing product research, you say to first think of a product you are interested in, then look at the data second. But when is the key data you look for? Isn't data more important? So I'm a data guy, keep in mind. So like I'm highly deductive. Like everything is a data point to me, but I do not think you should start with the data. I think you got to start with a product, because if you start with the data, then you will make the same decision everybody else does. And I also think that data paralysis is a problem. So you can see my wife in the background. She's camera shy. So if you start with the data, so think about fidget spinners, right? You didn't think of a product first. You just saw the data. Everybody and their dogs was going out for fidget spinners, right? Well, if you did that and so did everybody else, what happens? Everybody starts selling fidget spinners. Versus, hey, I have an idea for a product. I'm going to create a new type of cheese grater that nobody's ever done before. And it's going to be the best cheese grater you've ever seen on the market. Well, then you go to the market and see, oh, cheese graters, are they underserved? What does the data say? And if they are underserved, cool. You go forward and you proceed with it. The data that you would look at is number of competitors, the sort of product you're taking to market. Are you doing an improvement on a Me Too product, or are you doing a completely new revolutionary product that might even have like a patent or something of that nature? So those things could be a factor and might matter. Did you see FBA Grade and Resell program? What do you think about it? So I'll be honest, I don't actually watch anybody else's content. Anything that you hear from me is original, and I don't get it from anywhere else. And so because of that, I hardly ever go look at anybody else's coursework, anybody's videos, nothing. Everything I do is from what I see personally. We have so many brands that we manage that we see what a normal person or a normal account would see in a day. or in a year, I see in the course of a day. I might have to check that out though if you recommend it. Thank you, Barack. Mike says, is it with Amazon's TOS to include inserts saying simply, please leave your honest feedback on Amazon. We are not mentioning positive feedback. I would not do that. I would not talk about reviews or feedback. I think there's too much risk. So we got Sage playing in the backyard there, trying to get something to watch or do since I'm not doing screen shares. No, it's just frozen on the desktop side, so I couldn't navigate. It was like, and I had like things over the top of my screen. Yeah, it sucks. All right, so I don't recommend talking about reviews in any digital or printed variations of any kind. And the reason for that is because at some point, if you even mention the word feedback, they're going to ban your product. It's going to happen. It's coming. So my recommendation, just simply go ahead and start talking about customer engagement. So like ask them to take a picture of themselves using the product, post it on Instagram under hashtag your brand name, and they're going to be significantly better in the reviews anyway if you do that. So I would avoid feedback or review requests of any kind right now. Hi, Stephen. My broker was supposed to split my shipment between Amazon and another distributor for our business, but he mistakenly sent in some boxes that were meant for our distributor into Amazon. That's going to be a problem, Dawson. There's almost nothing you can do to fix this. Removal orders will be required. They will not correctly check things in. They can't ship something from one account to another. This is one of the most common misconceptions when somebody buys somebody else's brand. They don't realize that. And so that stinks. So you probably should ask the broker to reimburse you for the removal fee and then just send it back to them and let them deal with it. That's what I would do, Dawson. Earlier, for another question, you said kitchenware is not a competitive niche despite it having many sellers. How do I define competitiveness? Great question. I would say PPC costs. So if the PPC costs proportionally are ridiculously high, like they are in supplements, $4 a click minimums, that's competitive. Versus in kitchenware, it's underneath $1 still in many keywords and many products and categories. And so that makes it just simply easier. Your dollar goes farther when launching a kitchen product right now. There's also more people that are going to buy a cheese grater than are going to buy, say, a supplement or a vitamin. That's because everybody needs a cheese grater, but only some people will buy a vitamin. So the market's overall bigger, even if there's the same number of sellers. Great question. Alex says, part one, I have a client that has a USPTO registered trademark, and he has the name in the Amazon brand registry also. A few months ago, a very similar brand started selling on Amazon, but does not have a trademark nor brand registry. The two brand names merely have one letter differentiating them, but are not exactly alike. Are they in the same category? Should he still claim a copyright infringement to have the competitor's brand deleted from Amazon? I think there's going to be a legal battle here. So she wants to turn on the, I think she wants to turn on the water. So if that's the case, I would carefully check the USPTO to see who filed their trademark first. I would also have that lawyer file an opposition to that other trademark. I think that's going to be a very important thing to do. And then as for copyright infringement or trademark infringement, if you go that far, you're going to have a legal battle on your hands. So make sure that you are in the right, that you were first to market before you start that. Because if you're not first to market and you start a trademark or a legal fight, you might lose and you may not like the outcome. If you don't have a legal standpoint to do this, you may also just want to reach out directly to the Amazon seller in question and see what they have. See if you can work out a deal, like buy them out or whatever. Part for N, the difference is identical in the registered brand name being Pepsi, and the new competitor is called Pepsi. Thank you. So I'm not sure how I can comment on the Pepsi question, but obviously if it was something that, so one letter difference. Okay, so he's using Pepsi as the example to make the case. I think my answer is pretty good. Go to the USPTO and see what you can figure out. GK says, hi, Steven. Will day parting hurt PPC campaigns? All of the PPC experts that I talk to, Destiny Wishon, Michael from Ad Badger, and all these guys, they all are against day parting right now. So could it hurt you or could it help you? Jury is out. The people are still more important than the tech, in my opinion. I've launched a product, however, there are no sales or impressions. The listing is optimized. Anything in specific I need to do to look to fix the issue? So I'm going to walk back in and see how my computer's doing because I do want to get the PickFu test results. By the way, this was the beginning of my Amazon guy. So we had my Amazon guy down here. We put in 11 employees down here, and the fire marshal one day kicked us out. We had so many people in our home, right? This looks like a nice place, right? So like when I take you on this journey, you can see you have windows. It was a nice corporate environment. I still have some messy boxes I haven't cleaned up, but we threw all the people in here and all the desks. So sometimes when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade and try and make a better show. So you might hear me double speak for a brief moment here. Let's see how the computer's doing. So on my computer, I think I can use it again. Let's see if we can look at, nope, I cannot. Okay, so no PickFu results today. I'm sorry about that, guys. All right, we'll finish the show on mobile today. All right, what's the next question? How can the fire marshal even have the authority to do that? Well, I'm in a city in town called Berkeley Lake. I'm trying to make this level with my Amazon guy. That's not working. So the city marshal kicked us out because you're not supposed to be able to have employees inside of a house in my city. And I didn't know that. But also at the same time, logically, that kind of makes sense, right? Like if you throw 11 people in a house, it might upset the neighbors. So we were fine up until 8. Once we hit 9 and 10, maybe we upset a few neighbors. So it happens. All right, great question. Brian says, do you know what the market rate for insurance and supplements for Amazon? I'm getting close to $1,500 to $4,000. That is actually the market rate I've been seeing on all, not just supplements. We've had a harder time finding supplements insurance providers, not as many taking it. All right, we got 3 questions left in the queue. I appreciate everybody joining us today, and sorry about the computer troubles. I successfully get GTIN approval under my brand. And by the way, the guy that we did the PickFu for, send me an email to podcast@myamazonguy.com. I will send you the results link later when my computer restarts. Abdullah says, I successfully get GTIN approval under my brand name, but Amazon's still not allowing me to create the listing under my brand name, giving me the 5665 error and asking to request approval. So, Abdullah, file a trademark. It will save you so much headache. What you're trying to do is fine, technically, but is not worth the hassle. You will have to file and get approval, and you may have to do that every time you list things. It gets messy, not a good thing. So highly recommend you get that trademark because your life will get a lot easier. Selling variations, Kim asks. Differences, small. A+ content, can we create links to variations? Should I break up the variations because I can target my own products on PPC? Review count, price, all similar. When I first launch products, I always parent them, no exception. If 2 of your products have the ability to have the same sales velocity or 80% of the same sales velocity, so if product A or product 1 sells at least 100 units and product 2 sells 80 units, I would split them off. And the reason for that is because they can both show up in search results, but when they're parented together, they cannot. Only one will show. So this is a question of acquisition inside of the Amazon platform search console. If you have more variations connected together, your review count will go higher, your conversion rate will be better, but your traffic may be lower. So if you have 2 products that are both exceptional and well, split them apart. Great question. I launched a product, however, there are no sales or impressions. The listing is optimized. Anything in specific, I need to look to fix the issue. Maz, it sounds like you might have what I like to call a hidden suppression. type the ASIN into Amazon.com. Make sure you don't have any categories selected. It needs to be Amazon.com with no categories. Type the ASIN in and see if it comes up. If it doesn't come up, you have what's called a hidden suppression. The way to fix that, check the category, make sure the category is filled in, and also make sure that the brand registry node ID is set and that the UPC is loaded. If all of those check out and not solving one of your problems, send me further details. Send me your ASIN to podcast@myamazonguy.com, and I'll look into it for you for free, just because you came in and asked a question today on the podcast. John, I do see a couple comments we haven't gotten to. Let's grab those and then we'll wrap. Edward says, hi, Stephen. Is there a cutoff for NCXs? What NCX percentage is required to make an ASIN suppress? Anywhere from 4 to 8% can cause a trigger. You have poor, excellent, and anywhere in between those percentages. Right around 4% is when you're going to start to get questioned, probably. Any spikes can also make it go up too. Moz says, I don't think he answered the question. Alex says, the first trademark was registered in 2016 and the competitor's name was not accepted by the USPTO. Alex, I think you should book a coaching call with me. This one's a very complex issue. If they file a dead trademark and you have a live trademark, you win. Game over. But I want to look into this one. This is a very complicated legal situation. I'm not a lawyer, but I know how Amazon will view the situation. So hire me for the Amazon expertise. Book a coaching call at myamazonguy.com. Book and coaching call in the top right. Ma says, thanks, Stephen. All right, that is our show today. I was sick and my computer didn't cooperate, so that's why we finished on mobile. Many of you sticked around and stayed for that. Don't forget to enroll in mag-school.com. If you like today's show, leave a comment. Even if you're watching the replay, just say, wow. And what did I wow you about? That's my goal today. You guys are all lovely people. It's not me against you, other agencies. It's us against Amazon. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one. And John, I need you to hit end stream. I actually don't know how to do that on a mobile. We'll see.